What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Will Cut for Food. I'm back on another project here. So I got this customer, and they've just started getting me to do all their bushes and trees and stuff. And their previous landscaper did what we like to call Crape murder. And I'm gonna see if I can't go ahead and fix these and make them look decent. They are just wild now. If you don't know what Crape murder is, I'll show you. Somebody took and went up to the tips of these branches and just cut them off. Just, tried to cut them off level where they wanted to. And what it does is it makes it sprout out a million leads from that one little spot. So now you have what looks like a bush instead of a tree. It just looks so wild and so thick. And it's really, really unattractive. So I'm going to go ahead and take some loppers, my chainsaw, and I'm going to thin these things out and make them look semi-decent again. And I'm going to go ahead and show you how I do that. I've also got to cut that tree up and haul her off, but that's another part of this job. I'm going to get to that later. Alright, so I've got my trailer set up. I've got my stuff over here set up. You need a nice tall ladder to reach whatever you're reaching, however tall your crepe murders might be. And this is my setup for what I'm trimming everything with. Nice 290 farm boss, some loppers, gassed up and oiled up. I'm going to go ahead and show you what I need to do. Alright, I usually start by going by about how big it is. I pick a certain height where I don't want any branches at all. So about probably somewhere in here, I'm going to take off absolutely everything. That includes big branches, anything that's not one of these large center pieces. And with this one over here, I'm just going to take off from here down anything extra, all these little extra shoot offs, and just try to bring it down to maybe 4 or 5 main stalks. Alright, now that you've got it up to a certain point, you don't want to take any of these main ones because this thing's been growing for a long while. It'll just have this big ugly nub at the bottom. So you just want to really take off as much in here as you can to a certain point. Now after that point, it starts to split a little bit because it's been trimmed one time at certain spots. It's got an extra little nub coming up. So if you look in there, you want to start taking off all these extra ones that's got 2 and 3 of these large ones. You just want to take off the extra one, the one that's more crooked or more undesirable looking and whatnot. You just want to take it out and just start taking these extra ones out that are sticking up through here, and we're going to go do that now. Just to show as an example, we got like these nubs right here that are sticking up, and like this one right here has a double right here, kind of splits, and they twist around, and then it actually splits again and makes a triple. So you want to trim that out. I might trim one of these extras off just to try to reduce the amount of all these extra nubs sticking up in here. Here's a bit of a bird's eye view of what I'm looking at, this mess in here. See all these extras sticking up in here. I'm going to go ahead and take some of these out, all this extra mismatched stuff. It's just kind of crossing into each other. You can see some of them in there, they're just dead, broken off, like that one and that one. Alright, we finally got some air in this thing. It looks a whole lot better so far, but still got that top that looks all bushy like that. And what we're going to do is continue this methodical removal of all these extra branches and come up in here and remove the ones that really aren't important. Just leave one or two off of each tip, one or two off of each main branch, and then reduce the number of scragglers. And then you're going to leave some of these little ones down here. Just reduce the number of main stalks. This thing has already gone so wild, I can only do so much with it. So, further reference, don't commit crape murder. Right, now that I'm up here, you can see a lot of the cuts that I've made in here to remove a lot of this excess stuff. And I'm just coming up in here and see these little scragglers, just to break those off by hand. And then any of these ones that have like multiples, I just come in here and I find like the nicest, straightest branch, and I leave the straightest, nicest one or two, and I remove all the excess stuff that I don't like. This is a very good time to show the before and after effects. This is what you get after you've thinned it out. And keep in mind, I've got more stalks than I want, but I have to keep this many to make it look good, because it's so wild and overgrown. This side, I'm coming in here, I'm going to continue my trimming out, try to make it look like this. I went ahead and did all the trimming off camera. I did a little bit less trimming on that one. I left a little bit more of these little side scragglers just because it's such a young tree. You can tell by the thickness of the stalks this tree is a lot younger. So I really want to give it a chance to kind of spread its wings and do what it wants to do. And it kind of needs to match this one as well. So that's about it. That's about as much as you can really do to save it. That top section, I don't do nothing with that. Just let it go. Whatever grows up there, grows up there. It can't get too heavy on top of itself. If any of them get really big Ys up there, I'll go up there and trim them out. But none of them are really big. It's kind of thin, and it looks a lot better now. So that's my answer to crape murder. If you've done it, this is what you got to do to clean her up, bring it back to a healthy tree, so it's not so wild and overgrown. Alright, till next time, thanks for watching. Take it easy.